Hello, today I'd like to discuss the meaning of life, or rather, the meaning of the word life. What does it mean for something to be alive as opposed to inanimate or dead? But first, I'd like to take a detour to discuss abstract concepts. You and I are concrete. We exist, as do all of the living things in this world. But life is an abstract concept. Abstract concepts don't really exist in the same way that concrete things exist. We create abstractions in order to solve problems, and the defining feature of each abstraction is the problem which motivated its creation. We create abstractions for a purpose, and we can only expect them to be fit for that purpose. So back to the word life. I'm going to give you a definition that I think is useful. It may not be the definition that you're familiar with, but for my research, I think that this is a good definition. Now, the defining feature of all living things is that they have intentions. Living things have goals and desires. There is some state of the world that they would like to be in, and they take action in order to get there. And we can determine if something is alive by observing its actions in order to infer its intentions. Now, by this definition, all control systems are alive. Consider, for example, a sump pump, which turns on when the water level rises too high and pumps it back down. It has a desired water level, and it works to maintain it. Technically, it's showing signs of life, but it's not very interesting, and it can't really survive on its own in any meaningful sense. Another clear sign of life is the intent to reproduce one's self. And this gets into an interesting discussion of whether viruses are alive. Viruses are parasitic organisms that lack their own internal metabolism, and so they can't really do anything. They can't take actions to express their will, until, of course, they infect a host cell. Once a virus gets inside of a cell, it hijacks the host cell's metabolism to do whatever it wants. Viruses are dormant until they infect a cell, at which point they come alive and start doing stuff like endlessly reproducing themselves. In conclusion, life and intelligence are distinct and different concepts. Most life on Earth is not very intelligent. Life on Earth is mostly things like insects and bacteria. On the other hand, recently we've invented these new AIs that appear to be quite intelligent, but strangely enough, these new AIs, they don't really seem to be alive, as in they don't seem to have intrinsic motivations or desires in the sense that most, living animals have desires. So make of that what you will, and until the next time, meow.